Russ, I got a surprise for you.
What is it, Ed?
I've got 2 tickets to paradise. Pack your bags and we'll leave tonight. I've got 2 tickets to paradise. I said, pack your bags and we'll leave tonight.
We're gonna go watch the Eagles?
That's right, Sonny. I won these 2 here puppies on an AM radio station call-in show yesterday. We're gonna be way up there in them there nosebleeds. But we're going to watch the Tar Heels take on it looks like the felines or the kitty cats of Pittsburgh. Me and your pop used to come here in the 90s and watch the likes of Dre Bly and Ronnie Holiday and a feller named Julius Peppers. My, what a football name. Tackle him! Tackle him! No! Hey, you sit here, Sonny. I'm gonna have a word with the old ball coach.
Papa, I don't think you should.
Oh, sure mouth, Sonny. This is nonsense. This is out of control. I've never... Mr. Coach Mack Brown! Mr. Coach Mack Brown!
Sir, you're not allowed in there.
It's okay. I have 2 tickets.
Sir,
okay.
you cannot enter the field. Sir, come here. My back, my back. Are we going to see the sheriff? When do I get my phone call?
You don't want none! You don't want none!
What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Russ, the Tar Heel, and welcome to week 6 of the 2024 college football season. In this huddle, we're going to break down the Pitt Panthers and the North Carolina Tar Heels ACC matchup. But before we get into that, what do you guys think about my pop? I let him take little Russ to one stinking football game, and he ends up in the slammer. I knew that he was a little perturbed by some of the stuff that he was seeing, but I did not expect that at all. If you'd like to help the guy, because he's probably going to be calling me soon asking for bail money, please feel free to donate. #FreePopPop. If you're new here, do me a solid and hit that like button. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. Every week during football and basketball season, we're doing skits, call-in shows, live reaction and watch parties. So I can promise you as a Carolina fan, as a college football fan, this is the place to be. I'm going to shoot you straight. I'm going to keep it 100 with you from me, Russ the Tar Heel, the fans' perspective. Call-in show will be this Thursday at 8 p.m. due to work conflictions. And the live reaction and watch party, one of my favorite parts of the channel, will go hot at noon on the dot. And one more thing, man, before we get into the nuts and bolts of this one, okay? A little bit more serious of a subject, a lot more serious of a subject. Thoughts and prayers to my brothers and sisters, my fellow Tar Heels in Western North Carolina, man. It's been absolutely devastating there right now after Hurricane Helene came through and people are in desperate need of food and supplies. So if you can, please consider donating your time and or your resources to the cause, man. We really need to look out for one another and help each other in our time of need, man. I'll link a list of places that you can help that I found on the Blue Ridge Public Radio website, bpr.org, down in the description section. I myself have donated, and I'm not showing you this in any way to boast because it's not much, and personally, I'm no one. But if everybody were to get a little bit, it adds up to a lot, man. I love my people, my fellow North Carolinians, even though I myself am displaced. And once again, man, thoughts and prayers out to my fellow Tar Heels. And now that we've talked about the more serious things going on with the state of North Carolina, my beloved home, from the beaches to the mountains, let's attempt to lighten the mood a bit and get into the Pitt UNC preview and prediction show. And make sure you stick around for our new guest picker in lieu of the spooky month of October. All right, seatbelts on. It's time to go. The undefeated 4-0 Pitt Panthers come off of a bye week to take on my beleaguered 3-2, 0-1 in conference North Carolina Tar Heels in Kenan Stadium this Saturday for a noon kick on ESPN2. Now, the updated ACC football rankings right now have Clemson leading the league at 2-0. Pitt is the only team that has not played an ACC football game to date, so this will be their ACC opener. And North Carolina sits at the bottom with Cal, State, Virginia Tech, and Wake at 0-1 in conference play. Now, North Carolina is 12-5 all-time against Pitt with a 7-1 record at home against the Panthers. The first matchup between the two schools was on October 5th, 1974, which resulted in a 45-29 win in Chapel Hill. Last year, UNC visited the Panthers in Pittsburgh, where Carolina beat the Panthers 41-24 behind Drake May's epic left-handed touchdown pass to Kobe Pacehour. Drake finished with 296 yards passing and 1 touchdown, but he also had 2 rushing touchdowns on the ground. Big O finished with 18 carries for 66 yards and 1 touchdown himself. And J.J. Jones had a big game with 6 receptions for 117 yards. Now, some interesting facts about the Panthers. In 1908, the Western University of Pennsylvania, known as the Whoops, as a play on its abbreviation WUP, was changed to the University of Pittsburgh. According to George M.P. Baird, class of 1909, the nickname was chosen because, number one, the panther was the most formidable creature indigenous to the Pittsburgh region. Number 2, it was known as a noble animal. Number 3, simple alliteration, which is the fact that it comes off the tongue easy. The Pitt Panthers, Peter Piper, etc. Except don't try to do the rest of the Peter Piper thing, because then your tongue is going to be all stinking knotted up. And number 4, its close approximation to the hue of old gold, which was the university's colors. The mascot Rock was given in the 1990s to honor Steve Petro, who was a former football player, assistant coach, AD assistant, and longtime fan whose nickname was The Rock. Now, the Pitt Panthers in 2024 have wins over 0-5 Kent State, 55-24, an improbable comeback win at 3-2 Cincinnati, 28-27, another improbable comeback win against 2-2 West Virginia, 38-34, and 1-4 Youngstown State, 73-17. Pitt is led by head coach Pat Narduzzi, who was in his 10th season at Pitt and has a 69-50 record at the school and an ACC championship in 2021. The Panthers starting quarterback is 6'5", 225-pound freshman and Alabama transfer Eli Holstein, who has 1,183 yards passing with 12 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. He also has 189 yards rushing on 38 carries, which was good for 5 yards per carry and 2 touchdowns, so he can get you on the ground as well. Their leading rusher is 5'8", 175-pound junior running back Desmond Reed, who has 319 yards on 44 carries, good for 7.3 yards per carry and 1 touchdown. And their leading receiver is 6'1", 185-pound senior Kanata Mumpfield, who has 20 receptions for 315 yards and 3 touchdowns. The North Carolina Tar Heels are 3-2, 0-1 in conference play and have wins at 2-3 Minnesota, 19-17, 2-3 Charlotte, 38-20, 3-2 North Carolina Central, 45-10, and losses to 4-0 James Madison, 70-50, and at 5-0 Duke, 21-20. Now, Carolina is led by Hall of Fame head coach Mack Brown, who has a 110, 75-1 record at UNC. The Tar Heels' leading passer this year is 6'1", 230-pound senior Jacoby Criswell, who has 889 yards passing with 6 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. The leading rusher for North Carolina is the 6', 220-pound All-American O'Marion Hampton, who has 658 yards on 114 carries, 5.8 yards per carry, and 6 touchdowns to this point. And Carolina's leading receiver is senior J.J. Jones, who leads the Hills receiving corps with 264 yards on 16 catches and 1 touchdown. So now that we've looked at Pitt and North Carolina's individual leaders, let's take a look at the team stats. Total offense, Pitt, 522 yards per game. UNC, 455.6 yards per game. Total defense, Pitt, 342 yards per game. UNC, 354.8 yards per game. Average points, Pitt, 48.5 points per game. UNC, 34.4 points per game. Points against, Pitt, 25.5 points per game. UNC, 27.6 points per game. And now that we've looked at all the statistics leading up to this football game, let's have a look at Russ's 3 keys to victory, starting with the Pitt Panthers. Key number 1, attack the safeties early. Eli Holstein has been phenomenal to start his Pitt career, averaging almost 300 passing yards per game and 3 touchdowns. He's the first Pitt quarterback since the great Dan Marino to start 4-0 in his first year at Pitt. The Carolina back end has been less than stellar, and Eli has the arm talent to find some guys over the top. UNC has not been very good at turning the tide since the Minnesota game. You punch them in the face early, let them know you're here to compete, and you see if they also are here to compete. Key number 2, don't abandon the run. Regardless of any success or lack thereof that Pitt has in the first half, regardless of what the score is, if you want to come back or if you want to keep the lead against Carolina, run the football. Make the Heels defend for 4 quarters. Duke was down 20, and they ran the football to get back in the game. They tend to wear down during the later stages. And with that comes sloppy form tackling, which leads to missed tackles and then hung heads. Pitt needs to body them. And key number 3, attack the tackles. Carolina's offensive tackles have really struggled in pass protection. Hell, lately they've struggled in run blocking. Don't be afraid to get some smaller athletic guys on the outside shoulders of these tackles. Your guys will eat until proven otherwise. And now for my boys in Carolina Blue. Key number 1, screen, screen, screen. Pitt is going to sell out to stop the run. Narduzzi will make Jacoby Criswell beat him through the air. So how do you keep the football in your best player's hands, a la O'Marion Hampton, knowing that the opposing team is going to attack your tackles in the pass rush and crowd the line of scrimmage to stop Big O? Screen, screen, screen. Make Pitt pay for their aggression. Let them through and dump it over the top right into Big O's hands. It's not like that offensive line has blocked well lately. Anyway, sounds like a no-brainer to me. Key number 2, commit to stop the run. Key word here, commit. I know they have Eli Holstein back there, but I'm going to beat this horse into the dadgum ground. We saw what happened to the Heels last week in Durham. 6 guys in the box against 5 down linemen, an H-back, and a running back. Let me do some math for you. That's +1. And I saw it on multiple obvious rundowns last week. If you're not getting any push from the front 4 and teams are gashing you, you 100% have to sell out and make them throw the football. Yes, you may give up 6, but you sure as hell can't let teams bully you down the field and do nothing about it. Let's be physical and commit to stopping the dadgum run. And key number 3, good night, man. Form tackling. Carolina was cooked multiple times in the Duke game where they had guys in position to either make a tackle or minimize the damage. Now, I know that Mack and Jeff don't want to be the bad guys, so I will. Stick Lane, Jakeem Harris, even Elijah Huzzy on one play were diving at people's feet, the feet of a Duke ball carrier, and they attempted to hit them with their shoulder. Hey, boys, you can stick someone and simultaneously wrap them up. Just in case you didn't know, we have got to tackle like we did in the first half against Duke because Reed is a smaller stature guy and he will make you miss. Well, you know what time it is, baby. It's prediction time, and we're going to start it off with Little Russ predicts the Hills.
Little Russ predicts the Hills.
Little Russ, get in here. All right, say hey, Little Russ.
Hello.
All right, Tar Heel Nation and the college football family want to know what your score prediction is for the Carolina-Pitt game this Saturday.
I'm going to predict 33-31 Heels.
33-31 Heels. You heard it there.
Little Russ predicts the Heels.
And now for our new guest picker. Now, here's the backstory on this, man. I was down at a local antique shop, and I found this little guy right here, okay? Now, I was not looking for Christmas ornaments or anything like that, but the owner said that it comes from a cave up in the mountains of North Carolina, and it's said to have some sort of ability to summon a wizard who can predict the future if you rub it. It said the legend is that the guy's name is Wiz, and he's not the greatest predictor of things, but every once in a while, he gets it right. So I figured, hey, it's October, man, and the season hasn't necessarily gone particularly well. So let's see if maybe we can get Wiz in here and predict this game and maybe make us feel a little bit better. At least we'll know, right? So without further ado, let's see if this thing works. Who summons Wiz the Wizard? Where am I? What's going on, Wiz? Russ the Tar Heel, bro. Don't freak out on me. Oh, what can I do for you? Well, I've had a little success predicting the outcomes of the games thus far, but I was wondering if you could just help us out and maybe let us know what the score of the Carolina-Pitt game is going to be this Saturday. Oh, that's easy. 41-38 Pitt. Okay, that's it? It's like no crystal balls or nothing? What do you want from me? 41-38 Pitt. Okay, 41-38 Pitt. I got it, bro. Can I call you next week? We'll see you on the next one, Russ the Tar Heel. Wow. Well, that was pretty interesting and somehow simultaneously underwhelming. Little Russ says 33-31, and Wiz the Wizard says it's going to be a shootout, 41-38. Bad guys. And here's the updated leaderboard. I've taken a 1-game lead on Little Russ, unfortunately picking the Dukies by 2, and they won by 1. Not at all how I wanted to take the lead. So here's your boys' 2 cents for the Pitt game for what it's worth. The ESPN matchup indicator gives the Pitt Panthers a 62.1% chance of walking into Kenan Stadium and getting the W. And they are currently a 3-point favorite in Chapel Hill. North Carolina is limping into Chapel Hill after 2 straight debilitating defeats, while Pitt is coming off of a bye. It would seem that there is literally no hope in this one. Eli Holstein is slinging the football around out here. Carolina's defense is so hit or miss. We have no idea what we're going to get. UNC's offensive line couldn't stay in front of a steel barrier buried 6 feet in the ground. So Jacoby has no time, and O'Marian's being tackled before he can even touch the stinking football. North Carolina is the more talented team on paper, but we know where that's gotten them in the past 2 weeks. But this has got to stop somewhere, right? Most people are picking this one to be a bit of a shootout. And I have no idea what defense we're going to get. But I also don't think that Pitt is very good defensively either. And I'm going to use a couple of things to predict my final score. It's homecoming at UNC. The Heels have to right this ship somewhere before it's too late. And Rucker should be back. I'm going to take the Heels in a shocker in this one, but a little bit lower scoring than some may have anticipated. Give me the Heels 30-27 in a game where both teams are close to the very end, and the Heels walk it off with a Noah Burnett field goal. I'm just got a little inkling, a little feeling in this one, man, that maybe Pitt has had some time to feel really good about themselves. They had some momentum. They take a break. Maybe it's going to take them a little time to get back into the swing of things. The Hills have been down bad for the past 2 weeks, but Rucker is supposed to return, which could give this defense a much-needed boost. Even if that guy is only at 80%, having a dude like that on the field does wonders for a team's psyche. I think Chip Lindsey watches my keys to the game, and he decides to make Pitt pay for their aggression by attacking the vacated space behind the defensive line and blitzing backers. And the Tar Heel defense does just enough to keep Carolina in the football game until the end. And the Golden Toe, Noah Burnett, seals it by kicking for a 3-ball. Nothing but net as time expires. This does not change my overall opinion of the state of the program or the tough decisions that need to be made in the slightest, but it's always better to win than lose. So you let me know what you think about Little Russ, Wiz the Wizard, and my score predictions down in the comment section. Tar Heel and college football family. Don't forget the call-in show on Thursday night and the live reaction and watch party on Saturday at noon. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I hope y'all enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. And as you go about your day, you walk around with your chin up and your chest out because you're a Tar Heel. We'll catch you on the next one, baby.